What do golf's biggest major champions really think about LIV Golf? Let's find out. Hey, DT here. If you're like me, you're at least curious about what golf's biggest major champions like Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Tiger Woods are actually saying about LIV Golf today. If you take a look at the list of golf's major champions, you'll see Jack Nicklaus at the top with 18, Tiger Woods in second place with 15, and slightly lower on the list, Gary Player with 9. Undoubtedly, their opinions matter and are to be respected, but how relevant are they in today's golf game? Now, who you won't see on that list is Lee Westwood, 91 career major championship starts, 0 wins. What does he really think about LIV Golf? Well, he joined LIV Golf, so we know what he thinks about LIV Golf. Undoubtedly, the opinions of Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, and Tiger Woods are important and to be respected, but how relevant are they in today's golf game? Especially considering Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player are in their 80s. It's also important to think about from what position each of these players and former players are coming from. When you think about Jack Nicklaus, he's in his 80s. He has a estimated net worth of over $400 million. What motivation does he have? Does he have a hidden agenda in talking about LIV Golf and or the PGA Tour? What does he have to gain from positioning himself or affiliating himself with one tour versus the other? Similarly with Gary Player, who currently is also in his 80s, an estimated net worth of around $250 million. What does he have to gain from affiliating or speaking about the PGA Tour versus LIV Golf? Arguably, the player with the biggest tie currently to the PGA Tour would be Tiger Woods. He's currently in his 40s. Forbes has just announced him as officially a billionaire, and he is active on the PGA Tour, albeit far less so than previous to his car accident, but he's still out there and playing tournaments. Some might even say that his TV or media contract rights with Discovery TV and the PGA Tour somehow create a conflict of interest or taint his opinions and perhaps provide him a hidden agenda in the comments that he makes about LIV Golf. If you think about Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player, the comments that they would make would be far more loose and open and probably true to their spirit. They have nothing to gain at this point in life as to whether or not they affiliate with the PGA Tour or LIV Golf or worry about harming someone's opinion of them. Their legacy has been built. On the other hand, Tiger Woods still has a lot of runway in front of him, a lot of runway to influence his legacy and the mark that he will leave on the game of golf. And so it could be argued, and reasonably so, that he has a bigger stake in his legacy as it relates to the PGA Tour, and he's going to come out with perhaps an agenda along those lines. Each golfer really has individual motivations, and that's going to drive what they do and what they say about LIV Golf and the PGA Tour. Hey, and if you like this kind of content, if you're curious about golf as a business as well as a sport like I am, hey, smash the like button for me and hit the subscribe button. It really signals to me that I should lean in further with this type of content and means a lot to me, so thanks. And hey, if you're impatient, timestamps in the description below so you can jump to the exact piece of content that you want to hear in this video. So let's hear from golf's biggest major champion winners on what they really think about LIV Golf.
And secondly, just following on from the LIV and the Greg story, just what do you think, what's your perception that the guys who are being tempted to go over and play for the LIV, what, we got a message for them, or what do you think of those guys who are being tempted?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. As far as the second part of your question about the players who have chosen to go to LIV and to play on to play there, I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position. Some players have never got a chance to even experience it. They've gone right from the amateur ranks right into that organization. and never really get a chance to play out here and what it feels like to play a tour schedule or to play in some big events. And who knows what's going to happen in the near future with world ranking points, the criteria for entering major championships. The governing body's going to have to figure that out, and some of these players may not ever get a chance to play major championships, and that is a possibility. We don't know that for sure yet. It's up to all the major championship bodies to make that determination, but that is a possibility that some players will never ever get a chance to play in a major championship, never get a chance to experience this right here. Walk down the fairways at Augusta National. I mean, that to me, I just don't understand it. I understand what Jack and Arnold did, because playing professional golf at a tour level versus a club pro is different. And I understand that transition and that move and the recognition that a touring pro versus a club pro is. But what these players are doing for guaranteed money, what is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn it in the dirt? You're just getting paid a lot of money up front and playing a few events and playing 54 holes. They're trying to, playing blaring music and have all these atmospheres that are different. I just don't see how 54 holes. I can understand 54 holes is almost like a mandate when you get to the senior tours. The guys are a little bit older and a little more banged up, but when you're at a young age and some of these kids, there really are kids, who have gone from amateur golf into that organization. 72-hole tests, are part of it. I mean, we used to have 36-hole playoffs for major championships. That's how it used to be. 18-hole U.S. Open playoffs. That's. I just don't see how that move is positive in the long term for a lot of these players, and especially if the LIV organization doesn't get world ranking points and they don't, and the major championships change their criteria for entering the events. It'd be sad to see some of these young kids never get a chance to experience it and experience what we've got a chance to experience. And walk these hollow grounds and play in these championships.
Okay, we've only got time for maybe 2 more questions. We'll take one at the back right, and then Doug here at the front.
Tiger, you've said throughout this comeback that golf is not the hard part, it's walking. Mm-hmm. And obviously, Augusta's a super tough walk, and you struggled physically at Southern Hills. How are you finding your body responding to this walk compared to those two?
It's still not easy. Granted, the inclines are not steep in any way, and the declines are not steep, but it's the unevenness, that is still, it's still difficult on me. I have a lot of hardware in my leg, so it is what it is. It's going to be difficult. Yes, the walk is certainly a lot easier than those 2 championships that I played in before this year. I'm able to walk a lot more holes, but also then again, I've gotten a lot stronger since then. It's been more time that I got a chance to work in the weight room and get stronger and get the endurance better in my leg. Playing Augusta, I didn't know. My leg was not in any condition to play 72 holes. It just ran out of gas, and. But now it's different now. It's got a lot stronger, a lot better, and hopefully it'll continue to get that way. But again, as I said, having a lot of hardware in there makes it a little bit of a challenge.
Okay, Doug.
Tiger, understanding your physical state and, as you say, the very limited schedule going forward, what have you learned this year about the challenge of playing so little in terms of sharpness, in terms of tour golf, playing month off, playing again? What's been the biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge is I'm not I'm not playing tournament golf to get tournament ready for the majors. I'm not hitting shots in tournaments to know what works and what doesn't work. I've had to do that at home. And yes, I can do that. I can do that at home to a certain extent, but it certainly is a lot better when I'm able to play tournament golf to feel tournament hardened coming into these big events. But that's no longer my future. I'm not going to be able to do that again. So this is what my future is: a very limited schedule, and I'm going to have to somehow figure out a way to practice at home efficiently and come to these events maybe just a little bit earlier and get more looks and try to get a better feel for it and really trust what I'm doing, because I hadn't proven it to myself in any other tournaments prior to this. But hey, just the fact that I was able to play Augusta when I just started weight bearing 6 weeks prior to the event, and that to me was quite an accomplishment. And then Tulsa was another accomplishment. So this whole year has been something that I'm very proud of, that I'm able to have gotten to this point with my team, to get here to where I've been able to play in these tournaments when it looked like I would never have this opportunity ever again.
Okay, I'm sorry, we are going to have to make this the final question. Louina on the right, and we will have to wrap up there.
Tiger, the history of the game has always been a very important part of your golfing development, I feel, because you've always appreciated it. Do you think that young kids who are planning to be the next Tiger on the golf course take this into account, or are they just too much all about golf?
In what way? I'm sorry, I'm not
The fact that you love the history of the game, and the modern kid probably couldn't tell you the first thing about who won what before Tiger.
Well, I think it's different. I guess nowadays you can just look it up on your phone, and you don't have to go to the library and try and figure out who won what. You can just look it up on your phone, and the world has changed dramatically. The history of the game is certainly something that I've taken to heart. I think it's a very important part of understanding the development of our game, where we've come from, especially for me, for a person who's had to struggle at times for admittance into clubhouses or onto golf courses. So I understand it from a different historical side too, as well. But also you have to appreciate everything about this game, how it's developed, and the people who have paved the way to allow us to play in these events, who created the energy behind it. I mean, the first time golf was ever on TV was Arnold Palmer making a birdie finish to win. What he did for our sport, TV-wise, was incredible. And then I came along right when the internet hit, and so that took it to another level. These kids are dealing with so much information at a younger age, and I hope they do appreciate it, and I do hope they do understand it. There's so many great champions that, like yesterday, for instance, that were out there, that I hope a lot of some of these kids were watching at home, got a chance to appreciate that, to see them playing out there. I mean, saw Bob Charles out there on 18 hitting. I think we won in 63 or something like that. So to be able to see that in person, I mean, live, God, it was just so special. And I just hope the kids appreciate that.
Does your son appreciate the past?
He does. He understands the history of the game, because I make it important to understand where this game has come from, and also his heritage, where he's come from. He's come from a very mixed background, and so just understanding where you come from, Understanding this game, how hard I had to work to get to where I was at. I had to earn it every step of the way. Nothing's ever given to you. You got to go out there and earn it. And I earned it through the dirt, and I'm very proud of that.